Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Metal Hellsinger. I played on the Xbox Series X. It's also available on the Xbox Series S, PS5, and PC. So you play as a demon in hell known as Unknown, and you are accompanied by a talking skull named Paz. Unknown has had their voice taken from them when they went to hell, and they want it back because singing was, I guess, their passion, so they're gonna kill a shit ton of demons as well as the judge to get it back. Now let's get into the audio, and the voiceover work is good because, well, you know, most of it is done by Troy Baker, so it's gonna be good. Then you have the sound effects, which I think do a really good job capturing the hell vibe, using the different weapons, you know, the different creatures, all of that. I think it comes together well. But for me, the standout in the audio is the soundtrack. It's amazing. If you love metal, this is one of the greatest video game soundtracks ever. The soundtrack is made by a group called Two Feathers, and then they feature a bunch of vocalists from a bunch of really big metal acts. But now let's get into the gameplay mechanics and whatnot, and this is a rhythm-based FPS. Now when I say rhythm-based, it's not like you can only jump, you can only dodge, you can only shoot on rhythm, but if you do anything on rhythm, like reload or shoot, you will reload faster, you will deal more damage. You also have attacks that will lunge at enemies and you will regain health, but it only works if you do it on rhythm. The game itself is very much level by level, area by area. You basically go into arena, you fight all the enemies, you go down a path onto the next arena, you know, etc. That's basically how the game works, and then each level ends with a boss fight. You get some new weapons along the way. All of them are different kinds of guns. Honestly, some of them work far better than others. I definitely landed on a pair that I was much happier with. And while I actually was having fun with this game, and I was doing quite well, and I was progressing, I always felt like I could have been doing better. It was this nagging feeling that kind of took away from the experience for me, because I am not great at keeping a rhythm for an extended period of time. And while there are obviously the audio and visual cues, when you're shooting, when you've got demons attacking you, it distracts from those cues and makes it very difficult. And I always just felt like I could have been doing better if I was better at keeping a rhythm. But in reality, the gameplay is fairly simple, but it works well. Now let's get into the controls, and honestly, I don't have any complaints with the controls. I think they work well. They're good FPS controls. At least I didn't really run into any major issues. And then let's get into the graphics and visuals. And I gotta say, I love the visual design of this game. I really like how the different levels, they all feel very hell-like, but they all, at the same time, feel unique from one another. And I think the enemy designs are well done. I think they look good, and I think they look, you know, sufficiently hellish. As well as your character and the weapons you use. I think all of that from a visual standpoint look very good. They all have an awesome design that really fits with the motif and just fits with, you know, the game in general, I guess. As for the graphical quality, it's fine. It's not like the best graphics I've ever seen in my life, but it's good enough, and it's a pretty fast-paced game, so taking the time to really sit there and examine things while you're playing is just going to get you murdered. But the graphics are more than good enough to bring to life the designs. And visually, the only real problem I had was that there were times where I wouldn't get the reload animations, like I was out of bullets and I couldn't fire. It said I had ammo, but I couldn't fire because I was reloading, but there was no animation for it. So that was weird and annoying, but that was really the only visual glitch I noticed. I guess during some of the cutscenes, which are interesting because they're not really cutscenes, they're more those like comic book style, like still art, but not completely still art kind of things. A couple of them stuttered, which is weird because the rest of the game ran very smoothly. But let's get into the wrap-up, and the first thing I'm going to say is, why the fuck is this game $40 on the Xbox, but only $30 on Steam, and I'm not talking about on sale? That's just some obnoxious bullshit since it's purely digital right now. Why aren't they the same price? But overall, I actually had fun with this game, despite the nagging sensation that I could have been doing better at pretty much all times because I am rhythmically challenged. So that's what I'm going to say in my recommendation is I had a good time. It is fun. I do recommend it, though be aware if you are rhythmically challenged, it's a more difficult game. Okay, so in the comments down below, why don't you tell me who is your favorite metal band? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share and subscribe. Have a good one.